Welcome to my channel. Welcome to the channel. I am Keith. The dog that's barking is my own personal Anubis, who keeps the evil spirits away. So if you hear the dog, if you hear my boy Anubis barking over there, it's because he's fending off some spirits. So I need you to pick a card. Feel it out. Okay. 3, 6, and 9. Pick one of those numbers. What I did is I shuffled the deck, sat with it for a few moments, and then 3, 6, 9. And I will read them off for you. I know that a lot of the times the cards are completely broken up for each other. You know what I mean? The fact that you're even here in a sort of cosmic events sort of thing tells me that all three of these cards are a sum of your totality. They're all useful. The one you pick is going to be the dominating factor. You know what I mean? It's just going to be the dominating factor. Like, you're up to bat, you're facing the whole team, but you could be facing a lefty, right? So your specific endeavor, you're facing the lefty that throws 101 with a nasty slider. It's baseball talk if you guys aren't. Anywho. Here comes the first card. The first card is a 9 of swords, which you can't see because there's no light. But trust me when I say this. The 9 of swords. The 9 of swords. It's funny that we pull this talking about totality of energies. I include myself in this. And the first card is 9 of swords. And the most outstanding thing as far as this spread is concerned is to throw the towel in for shit that's not working. And it's so funny that I pulled it first card because stopping doing YouTube has been on my mind lately. Not seriously on my mind, but on my mind nonetheless, which actually has never happened before. Interestingly enough, of all the years I've been doing it, I've never considered not doing it, but I did, just for the mental exercise of it. And so the first card is 9 of swords, which is all about some type of extreme hardship or turmoil, or, you know, like the Hermetics say a lot, that rat that's on the wheel that runs for eternity but dies exactly where it started. So we'll continue with, so that was your 3. So you threes out there, evaluate your life. What have you been doing? And it's like, it's hard to make that decision. I get it, because even the YouTube channel, which seems like it'd be a really cool thing, and like it would be my own thought, could not be. It was part of my thought experiment. Was, is this something I wanted? Why do I want it? Do I have the personality for it? What goes on behind the scenes? Not even what you guys are seeing, but there's just a whole world to being a successful YouTuber. I'm just using myself as an example. So I had to take serious consideration of really how I work. So the original thought was, should I continue doing something? Is that thing good for me? What ended up happening was, actually, since things are relatively neutral until we interact with them, maybe I should be focusing on not if that thing is good for me, but am I good for that thing? Right? Because the way a success, or, you know, maybe say any successful content creator, it's easy to be like, oh, is that thing good for me? Is it good for me? Is it good for me? That thing is what it is what it's always going to be. The conversations you have to have, the people you have to meet, the caliber, the quality of life you're going to have is there whether you like it or not. Thank you, Anubis. All right, that's not good, it's not bad, it is what it is. That's what it's like to exist in the frequency that is that thing. And so instead of saying, "Oh, is that thing good for me?" or instead of criticizing that thing, look at yourself and be like, "Yo, am I? How do I work? What do I think about the world? How do I operate? How do I make the best of things? And what makes me really happy?" Which changes all the time. So it's always good to check in and be like, "Am I a good fit for that thing?" The answer might be yes. I'm not saying if you're on the fence of something to just fucking jump over. Like, no, give it a proper consideration. Second card, the Sun. However, the Sun is reversed. However, double plot twist. It's one of the few cards, I don't know the other ones, that they're technically speaking isn't a reversed to it, which would make sense because it's the Sun. It's just a sphere. You flip it upside down and it's sort of a sphere still. Anywho, the Sun is all about, what's the Sun? Ego, which is your identity, which is a wonderful thing. So before you bite the bit, the ego, and this, especially with the Sun, is just how you show up, how you exist, how you burn, baby. Disco Inferno. Where was I? Sun. Oh, but it was reversed. But so it says that technically the Sun is one of the only cards that's not reversed, or not reversible. I would like to add in, be humble. That's what I was thinking. Was okay, you're killing it, you're burning. You know, it's the Sun is sort of like God incarnated, or consciously sort of distinguished as God incarnation. You feel me? So if it's reversed, I'm thinking, even though there's no reversed, I'm thinking maybe this is a humbling moment, right? Because the first card was our Nine of Swords, which was like, reevaluate what the fuck you're doing. Stop doing something if you shouldn't be doing it, man. Like, it's done. It's over. Give it up. Give it a rest. Let go, Jack. Let go. And you're like, I'll never let go. I guess it's fair to say our ego is, the dark side of the ego shows up as a negative Sun in tandem with the Nine of Swords, and saying something along the lines of, maybe you've tied your identity of work too much with yourself. And so you've been barking up this tree your whole life. And not only have you been barking up this tree your whole life, you've been assuming that you are the tree also. And so you're like, no, this is who I am. This is who I am. This is who I am. My work. This is who I am. The joys and the successes and the failures. It's all you. This is me. This is my life. You know what I mean? It's now or won't ever. I ain't gonna live forever. That song takes me back. Okay, sorry. If I say something in passing that's a song lyric, I'm probably gonna sing it. Get used to it. I'll try to do it justice. It seems so far that one is possibly overly invested in their work to the point where it consumes them. It's all they think about. It's what they worry about. They go to bed, and it's not necessarily giving them pleasure or gratitude, or it's not realistically lining up to the grand scheme of things as far as they want them to go. And that actually was a staple of the Nine of Swords, which was being too identifying yourself with your work a little too much. Obviously, there's a certain amount of work identification that's healthy and even encouraged. We all have it. It's dope to be proud of something, to say you did something. Like, yeah, of course. But we're talking out of balance, right? We want to be balanced in things. We don't want to be out of balance. This is an out of balance over identification with work. So that's the second one. That's the Sun. So if those of you guys that pick the Sun, know that you're chilling. You're as far as this whole spread goes. If you pick the Sun specifically, you're chilling. However, the energies out there are tense, tumultuous. So just be humble in the process. Acknowledge that your life could be hell on earth. Acknowledge that that's a total possibility. and take your hat off to it. Like, I understand that shit can get real nasty, so I will continue being diligent with my work, and I will be steadfast in my approach to my happiness, and the integrity at which I carry through with the actions. But you're fine, you're good. Okay, so last is 9, 3, 6, 9, which was the 8 of Pentacles. Bada bing, bada shboom. However, it was reversed. Cool. I forgot about the 8 of Pentacles, which is basically... Alright, so if the first card... I'm going to try to make this tangible for the 3 of you guys. The first card... 9 of Swords. That was stop doing shit that you don't need to be doing. The Sun was reversed, saying, hey, make sure when you're trying to figure that message out that your ego isn't the one guiding those decisions. The unhealthy ego isn't the one guiding those decisions, in that you're tying yourself up too much with work. You've become your work. You can't separate yourself, which means you can't go on a walk with your child, or you can't have dinner. You can't go to the movies. You can't fucking go buy a Christmas tree at the Christmas tree lot. You can't do any of these things and thoroughly enjoy yourself because your mind is elsewhere. This is the overworked person. This is the one who puts a little too much emphasis on their identity as a work, is always somewhere else. So that was first card. Second card. And now the third card, y'all, 8 of Pentacles, which is more or less the same thing. I wrote my notes down. You wrote 2 words, Keith. Apply yourself. That's all you wrote. Great. I must have wrote something else. Weak sauce. I wrote down apply yourself. So I'll try to do some intuitive digging for you guys. I'm sorry, I feel like I left out the 9s. The God number. Okay, apply yourself. Projects, other cards, make sure. All right, so we've talked about what not to do. How about let's talk about what to do. So you 9s, 8 of Pentacles. Pentacles is our coin, our born. We got flowers, abundance. The flowers are blooming, smells nice, feels nice. Can be deadly, right? The deadly nightshade is a beautiful, beautiful flower, actually, and that shit will kill you. So, with the other cards, it could be a poisonous flower. So we'll say that what's asked of the 8 of Pentacles, you seem like you're part of the spread that does have it figured out for the most part. And your job isn't necessarily to find out what you're supposed to do. You're just supposed to go 110 on what you are doing when you've made that decision. Because you're so far from the 9 of Swords that it tells me you're closer to making that decision on what you should do and how you should do it. Your decision. You just got to go all in. You know what I mean? Don't lose yourself, because we've got cards here talking about not losing yourself. So breathe. Smell the fucking roses on here. There's flowers on there. Even the deadly ones. The deadly ones smell great too, man. Just don't eat them. Yeah, you know what you're doing. 8 of Pentacles. If you chose 9, you know what you're doing. Just don't get lost in your work. But make a decision. Like this is why this whole spread is so important, actually, because a lot of people have, I included, have this so many choices, so many interests, and you're supposed to follow all of them, as long as, you know, like, especially in the spiritual world, as long as you feel happy with something, you're supposed to pursue it. But there was no asterisk next to that said, hey, by the way, you might find a lot of things that make you happy. So I'm like, fuck yeah, that's awesome, I want to do that. And I'm like, fuck yeah, that's awesome, I want to do that. That's 16 things that I want to do, because they all bring excitement. And the level of excitement of them all varies. Sometimes I'm more excited to do this, sometimes I'm less, you know what I mean? Point being, if one is not balanced with that mindset, it's easy to have this sort of decision overload. You know what I mean? Yeah, we're sitting here trying to justify doing something, and the only justification is on the level of excitement. That to me personally, you don't have to buy this, but to me personally, to only act out of emotion seems one-sided. There exists a word called discipline for a reason. It means I'm going to make a decision for something to happen. I want to manifest a thing. It's going to look like this, and this is how I get it. And the way how I'm going to get it is this 1 through 9. And as long as I do these 1 through 9 things every day, my goal will materialize before my eyes. Whether it's a year from now or 10 years from now, it's going to happen as long as I follow these goals. Knowing that there's going to be curveballs and hurdles and changes of plans here and there and some clauses and subclauses, obviously, welcome to the adventure of life, but to at least have something written down and the discipline to follow it as best as you can. Right? That's what you guys need. Those guys that pulled the 9 card. Is find, or don't even find, you know what it is. Proceed, carry on with that thing that you need to be doing, that you know you should be doing, and cut everything else out. The word decision, you're cutting away from. Incision means to cut, you're cutting into something. Decisions, you're cutting out. So when you make a decision for something to happen, not only are you making a decision for the positive, but you're making a definition for the negative, in that you're saying, I'm not doing these things. Not only am I doing this, but I'm specifically not doing that. Regardless of how I feel, except for an extreme circumstance. And then, of course, you can use your intuition and advice and sort of reworking your values and what you want. Do I still want this thing? Of course, I always go back to the drawing board. It's healthy to do that. Am I still on trajectory for my goal? Yes? Sweet. Carry on, good sir. No? Okay, I need to make an adjustment. That doesn't mean I just throw all the things to hell and start from scratch. It's like, no, just make a little. You might not be excited. It might not make you happy. It might not bring you the highest level of joy in your life. But you got to do it. You got to do stuff that you don't want to do sometimes. That's power. The ability for you to make something happen, to materialize something from the ether, despite all odds, is glorious. And the size of glory is directly related to the size of the material that you wanted actualized. You know what I mean? It's amazing. Huge failure, huge success. You know, that's living. That's living. So again, you 8 of Pentacles. I only wrote down apply yourself, but we were able to pull some shit for you. So yeah, I like this style of tarot. I think I kind of developed it. Let me know what you guys think. Did you like this spread? I wanted to separate all 3 of them when I started shooting this thing 19 minutes ago. But as it developed, it's actually super cool. You know, we can almost view the 3-card spread as anyone that watches this video, all these cards apply to you. However, the picture you're facing in the bottom of the 9th inning is the card that you pick. So that's what you need to expect and to adjust to. Yeah. Anywho, thank you guys for being here. Nice. You made it to the end. You made it this far. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment. Tell us who you are. Right? Don't just subscribe. Be like, yo, I came from Venus. I'm a Venusian. 3rd sector, quadrant 6, 8R, second time manifest, remade manifest. Not Atlantean, but pre-Atlantean, Lemurian. Let me know. Where are you guys coming from? I'm Keith Man of Letters, specifically Arcturian. What up? I need to make another video on the Arcturian story. It's pretty fucking cool. And it spans the course of going on 20 years now, which is pretty cool. So, thanks for being here. Thanks for the continued support. The guys and gals that have been watching this channel for the past couple years, and even longer than that. For those of you who knew me before this, Thanks for being here, and thanks for the continued support. I will see you soon. All right, take it easy.